Alright, good morning YouTube. It is Monday, March 18th. Let's get into it. First things first, let's take a look at the news today. We have Japanese policy rate and the Australian cash rate today. So both big news for those two, although the yen probably will stay the same as it always does. Maybe a little bit less big news, but who knows. Alright, to look further into the week, we have some Canadian news on Tuesday. Wednesday, the interest rate decision for US dollar. And then some manufacturing related news on Thursday, as well as the British pound interest rate decision. So looks like it'll be quite a news heavy week, which is good. Let's take a look at the charts. Okay. Let's get started from the top here. AUDCAD, let's see what we can trade today. He's doing well, going pretty sideways here on the 1 minute. Or sorry, we gotta go on the 1 minute here. Yeah, looks like he's doing pretty well going sideways, so we'll keep him in. We're interested in trading him. AUDCHF. This was a trade we took on Friday. That was a profitable trade. So let's get rid of these guys quickly and then take a screenshot of our trade. Perfect. Otherwise, I can definitely see us still taking the trades on AUDCHF here. I'm going, let's check out AUDJPY. We can add them onto the list as well. AUDNZD. Feel like definitely not one of the people I want to add on just yet. We're not going to add that in today. CADCHF was a trade we took. So we ended up getting out on a trade on Wednesday. So we took this trade here Wednesday, took this supplemental trade on Thursday, ended up getting out here on Friday, and then we took another trade Friday here for this quick win. So again, we will rid of these guys and take a quick screenshot of our trade. Otherwise, he is going sideways, so we could definitely get into another position today, especially if price starts to come down to these levels. CADJ, we might just ignore CADJ today. CJ, probably ignore CJ today. See us possibly getting to a trade here for EURAUD, so we'll add that in. EURCAD. Looks like we had an entry here. We had this entry posted from yesterday. Or sorry, from Friday. And we got into this position, so we kept the trade. We had this entry posted. Price never actually came up this way on Friday. And then we just kept the position open, so if price does come down to this level, we do maintain profits on it. That was based on these prior levels of resistance that we were looking to get into this sell for. So that's one trade. EURCHF, I think we were doing the same thing here. Same thing as that guy. Make sure we have another trade. We'll load up our what's it called in a second once we finish scanning the market. But yeah, Otherwise, EURCHF is going sideways, so definitely a good opportunity to get into a trade there. EUROG, we can see lots of sideways action here, so definitely a good opportunity. EUROJ, a bit too trendy right now, so we're going to avoid it. EURNZD, how do we feel like we can get into a trade here? EURU, no thank you. PAUD, a bit of a trend up and then down, so we're going to avoid this guy. GBPCAD, here we can see some trades from Friday. So got into this first initial trade, got into the second trade, break even on the first, and then a winner on the second. Let's take a quick screen cap of this guy. There we go. Again, lots of sideways price action, good opportunity here. GC, lots of sideways action, good opportunity. GJ, just like all the yen pairs, a bit too trendy for us right now. GBPNZD, quite trendy. You know what? Yeah, a little too trendy, so we're just going to ignore him. GU, stay out of that. NZDCAD, stay out. NZDCHF, stay out. NZDJPY. We could probably trade this guy. He's a little bit less trendy than the other pairs. Not doing as well. Stay away from that. We'll see what the background looks like here. Yeah, USDCAD looks quite back and forth. So I could see us taking a trade here on USDCAD. UJ, way too trendy. And USDCHF. Wow, similar to, so we got into these trades on Thursday of last week. Price came down on the Friday, didn't quite hit the take profit. Has come back up since, and it looks like it came back down again. Again, hasn't quite hit the take profit, and it's starting to go back up. So we'll just keep ourselves monitored on this. And then I think the last thing we traded on Friday was gold. Yeah, we took a very, very quick 20 pip scalp here. We'll just take a little screenshot here. Our 20 pips. And that'll be it. All right. Otherwise, we'll monitor these pairs, but doesn't necessarily mean we'll trade them. Always a good opportunity for scalping them though, because their spreads are incredibly low compared to the other ones. And price movements are quick, but just have to be a little bit more careful because of that. Okay. Let's take a quick gander at the journal. So these were the trades from the end of last week on Friday. Once it loads, there we go. So these were the 4 trades. We ended up with 4 winners and 1 break-even trade. And we made almost 3%. So pretty close to 3%, which was nice. The actual great part about last week was we had made about 15%, which is well above the 1% per day that we set out to make. So that was really good. We're still waiting on this guy to close. Obviously, our risk is still not mitigated, so it's quite high on this trade. Hopefully today we can come down to take profit. That would be ideal. Otherwise, yeah, we had 4 winners, 1 break even from last Friday. So I'm going to scrap that for today. 0, 0, 0. and then let's load up. Our blueberry market. There we go. All right, so these are our trades right now. We're in EURCHF and EURCAD. So EURCHF, quite close to hitting take profit. EURCAD, right here, he's getting close to being break even. It's kind of sad that we didn't actually put a sell, place a sell for him. Oh wait, no, never mind. TP, oh yeah, meant it to be. There we go, 10 pips. So we can see the US trade is right here. Right, we have position 1, position 2, position 3. We have our take profit right in the middle of those two positions. We have the swap is pretty much taking away all the profit we'd make on this position, unfortunately. So we have roughly negative $20 in swap, and this position was made to make, I think, $15. So unfortunately, that's sort of looking like that's not going to happen. Right, and yeah, we take a quick look here in our positions from last week. We have this CADCHF, profit trade, AUDCHF, GBPCAD, GBPCAD, the break even and winning trade, and then gold. So those were our positions on the Friday. This one was just accidentally getting into the position. All right. Okay, let's get back to it then. So no major news to move the market this morning, which is fine. We're just going to keep on browsing selections and see if anything piques our interest. So if you're not already aware, the typical strategy is identifying sideways markets on the 1 minute. If it could be reinforced by the 5 and 15 minute, even better. Laying out lines of support and resistance across the market, and then trading a sort of reversion to the mean strategy. So when price gets too low, we go for buys. When price gets too high, we go for sells. And then if it immediately rejects at our position level and hits our take profit, excellent. If it continues to go against us, we leverage into the trade. Dangerous, absolutely. Thrilling, absolutely. And a perfect example of that is this trade here. So we get into the 5 minute. Looks like there were 2 AUDCHF trades that were like that. Perfect. So we're initially here. We see a lot of sideways price action. Price comes up to this high. We get into our initial sell. This doesn't actually knock it out. That was just really high spreads right when the market ends. Price goes against this. We get into a secondary sell at this next resistance level. Again, don't let these stop losses fool you. There's no stop loss place. It's all mental. So we're still in the trade, Eventually price comes down here and we get out. So we get out break even roughly for this trade, in profit for the second trade. Price continues back up again. We get into a second position like this. So we get into another sell here. Price continues to go against us. We get into another sell here. Price continues to go against us. We should have gotten into another sell here, but this was when we were asleep, and I don't like to place limit orders overnight when I'm asleep. Typically speaking, especially not if I'm leveraging further into a position. And then price came down and we hit the take profit here. All right, the two positions we did have limit orders that were placed were EUROCAD and EURCHF. These were things we were looking at on Friday. Again, you see a lot of sideways price action. Prices coming closer to these highs. We decide to get into a sell. So we place limit orders at these specific resistance levels, targeting about 10 pips, reasonable pullback level. EUROCHF, same thing. Price comes up to this high, target the 10 pips. It's a bit riskier when I'm not here to monitor this, because this EUROCAD trade specifically, we could have gotten in right here in a second position and we would have been out already. So thereby eliminating the additional risk of this trade going further against us again, or having this take this what was previously going to be a profit level become a bouncing support for price to go up higher. This strategy is not for the faint of hearts, because you can be in positions for a long time. Price could go against you. Again, this strategy isn't tried, true, and tested. I've only been using the strategy since February 20th, so about a month. I've seen really good results with it, but we'll see if it even lasts the full year. That would be lovely, but who knows? All right, let's get back to the 1 minute, see how everything's shaping up here. Maybe adjust my then we start to delete some of these lines that we don't really see anymore as price moves away from them. Excuse me. Grab some tissue. Looks like 3 o'clock would have been a prime time sell level on many of the euro pairs. Euro G looks like you rejected around 3 o'clock. Euro N hasn't. Euro AUD not really, but Euro G as well as EURCAD and EuroCHF looks like they reached their highs around 3 in the morning and have rejected, and now they're starting to come back up. Full disclosure, I am also in significant swing trades on AUDJPY and CADCHF. I've been in those swing trades since, gosh, one of those AUDJPY trades, I've been in a swing trade since August 1st of last year. Next AUDJPY position I got into was September the 26th. The next one was December 20th, and the CHF-JPY trade was also December 20th. So it goes to show you how long you can be in some swing positions for. So this takes a little bit of getting used to, but what I'm doing here is as AUDJPY is coming up, what I'm checking to see is a quick difference about whether it's coming up because the yen is selling or because the Australian dollar is being bought. So I just quickly glance at some of the correlated pairs. So I look at the Australian dollar pairs and I see a mixed bag. Some of them are going up, some of them are going on. And then I look at the yen pairs and I see all the yen pairs appear to be mostly going up in unison. And so that tells me that the Australian dollar is going up because the yen is being sold, not because the Australian dollar is being bought. And then my secondary decision making is that, well, I want to trade this pair particularly not because the yen is actually quite bearish right now. All of this price movement is pretty similar across the board for the yen pairs, but there's a reason I'm looking at so many Australian dollar pairs because the Australian dollar itself is quite volatile and it is a bit of a sideways market. So if price is going up because of the yen selling, I'm less interested in getting into a sell. If price is going up because the Australian dollar is being bought, I'm more interested in getting into a sell. Hope that makes sense. Typically, the bread and butter ideal before getting into a trade is looking for trend breaks. So a trend can easily be identified by, say, higher highs and higher lows, and then or lower lows and lower highs. So, for example, a perfect representation of is the gold trade we took on Friday. We had a really good break here. So we had definitely lower lows and lower highs in this level here. low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, and then all of a sudden we had a lower low, but a higher low, higher high. So we had a break from this trend, and we had a previous level of resistance here. So when price came up here, I thought, you know what? I do think price will reject here, at least for a small short distance. Like if we look at a lot of these moves, this was about 38, this move up it's about 53, this move down was about 53. So I'm only trying to capture 20 pips on the move here. So if I put a sell here, even if it goes against me 20 pips, I know I can leverage into a second position, and the likelihood of price shooting up continuously at this point is very low. It'll either reject here or it'll come up and then reject back down to this level. So to me, it was a very low risk entry. Now price ended up going a lot further in our direction, but that's not the point of the trade strategy. It's to capture multiple small wins in a day. We're not really trying to hold on to things. But right now we see gold is very trendy right now. I'd need to have a significant break to the downside before trying to get into a trade here, or at least a lot of really good sideways price action that suggests that gold is just going to go sideways for the day. Same with any of these pairs. Way too trendy right now. Unidirectional. So AUDC, I'm keeping these trades, even though I'm not in either of them anymore. I'm keeping them more as an anecdote to see if price will eventually, or how long it'll take price to break down below this level. It's important for me to know that based on these trades that I took last week. Lots of sideways price action here on GBPCAD. He was also a sell we had. I think we had a sell right here at this level. Didn't end up taking it. Or on Friday, ended up canceling that one. CAD. Again, if price comes up to this level, we'll get into a secondary position. And if it continues a little higher, we'll get into a tertiary position. EURG could have been a pretty decent sell here at this level. But again, we weren't awake at 3 in the morning. Actually, looks like I should probably add those two to the trade. EUROCAD. Looks like EURCHF was added about 12 in the morning. $10 on each, I think. Five, 4. That was 3, 4 a.m. Take a gander to see when he actually hit. Yeah, he was about 12:18 in the morning. All right, so we had these two trades in. Added to the journal. So just looking at GCAD, if price does seem to come up to this level here, we could look to get into a sell at about 1.765. A sell there, possibly a buy down here. These are the two open positions. We haven't put them in limit orders yet. They're more of mental orders right now. EUROCAD, we're looking to get into a secondary position if price comes up here. And then a tertiary position if price comes up here. Here we go. And if for whatever reason the euro just rejects drastically, we could be looking to get into a buy down here roughly. Okay. Euro G. Ooh. I'd like to get into a sell here. So we can see price is kind of on this upward trend with small but profitable pullbacks. So we have this low here, we have a high, we have these lows, high, low, although, yeah, low, new high, low, high. But every time price pulls back by a small amount, looks to be about 7 pips there, 8 or 9 pips there, a bit. This was on the full trend down, so that was about 116 or 16 pips. So we would definitely be targeting a bit more manageable pullback, so say about 7 pips. And again, also got to look at the highs. So when he jumped up to a new high, he gained about 7.7 pips there. Small, 2.6. Slightly larger, 9.3. Or even from here to here was 0.65. So what we can expect is probably breaking over this resistance level into here. So if we wanted to, we can even adjust it slightly higher to give ourselves a better entry. Yeah, it kind of helps us trying to look at previous price data to see if where our entries should be. So we don't just use support resistance levels, we also take a look if price is making these sort of trends. Where we can get into the trade. And I know I just said I don't like trading trends, but here we can see it's a very weak small term trend. We had a really good trend going here. Price broke this previous low. And then, so we had a bit of pullback here, and then we had a trend continuation. And then as well, it just takes into context, like, is this really a trendy pair? Not particularly. This is really a strong consolidating pair. So me trading a trend on this consolidating pair isn't the same as trading a trend on something that's like an actual trendy pair, say like a yen pair, a US dollar pair. Again, we can look to get into a secondary position if price comes up here. Let's just take a gander what our actual entry was here. It was 290. AUDCAD, kind of middle of the range here. Not looking to get into anything until price comes up here. So maybe after hours with the interest rate decision, we could have a huge price spike, and possibly look to get into the a new play on the news. Um, that could be a valid opportunity. I probably won't be trading in that time because I try not to trade during the Asian market. It's just so much slower. It's the spreads are slightly bigger, so it just makes everything just slightly more challenging to trade. You definitely could still trade it. I do think there's still lots of opportunity to make money on the Asian session. You just have to get used to the idea that it'll be slower. AUDJPY, again, we could possibly get into a sell as price breaks this high, but under a few conditions. EURAUD, again, get into a sell at this level. Otherwise, we would wait to get into buys until price came down here, so we would have to reject significantly. EURNZD, same thing. We probably not get into a sell at this level, have price break out, and then get into a sell if it hit a level higher, planning for it to come back down to this level to bounce. I've used that strategy a couple times, works well for me. GBPCHF, and probably get into a sell if price were to come up here, or a buy if price is to come down here. But the likelihood of either of those two positions seems pretty low today. NZD probably get into a sell if prices to come up into this level. Again, we take a look at these levels. Price went up 44 pips from this low. Price went up 37 pips from this low, from this high to this high. And just need to be able to click through this. From this high to this high looks to be about 13 or 14 pips. From this high to a next high, we can imagine possibly also 13 or 14 pips with a bit more drawdown to capture. We'd probably get into a sell here at 91.2. The likelihood of this pair reaching that level today is very unlikely. USDCAD. I'm always a little bit more nervous trading the US dollar pairs just because they can trend quite significantly. For example, this move here. For example, my USDCHF trade that is in a significant negative value right now. So always a bit more challenging to trade them because of these huge movements due to news. All right, that's sort of it for the red list today. So now we just sit back and monitor how everything's going. Okay, I think I'm gonna go make a second pot of coffee and just pull out my book and read while we monitor these trades. Hopefully that's okay with you. Gonna leave that on the skin. All right, I don't think that's take profit yet, just because EuroCAD is typically a pip. Yeah, we still look to be about almost 2 pips away from take profit there, but should hit it today. Should hit it soon. Price continues to drop, which I think it should. Get my charger. Okay.